Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. We're here. We're back on Stretford Paddock, and I'm here with your daily Manchester United news. You've got me this morning. That's because the boys are going to be coming on the channel later on for Manchester United's first pre-season game. Yes, United are taking on Leeds in Oslo. We're not over there in Oslo at this moment in time. Our pre-season tour begins next week as we head out to New York and New Jersey for that game against Arsenal before the rest of the games in America. But United do have that game against Leeds today, and you can get all the coverage, the watch along, and everything else on this channel. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, get your notifications on so you know when the guys are live later on today. But in this news video, we are discussing goalkeepers. Yes, we're discussing goalkeepers. That's because Dean Henderson is in talks with Nottingham Forest for a move there. He's been left out of that travelling squad to Oslo for Manchester United. And obviously after David De Gea's departure, we saw Dean Henderson was kept at Carrington because United obviously didn't know what was going to happen in terms of bringing in a goalkeeper. But we do have news on Andre Onana and his potential move to the club, which means Dean Henderson's path to Nottingham Forest is now a little bit more smoother. We'll be getting stuck into the story about Andre Onana shortly. But first up, let's get stuck into the story about Dean Henderson. The Telegraph are reporting Manchester United are locked in talks with Nottingham Forest over a deal for Dean Henderson. There's been various reports which say United value him at around 20 to 25 million pounds. In my opinion, that's cheap for him because he is a goalkeeper that, whilst many Man United fans aren't disappointed to see him leave, he's still a goalkeeper that has a lot of potential, has done pretty well when he was at Sheffield United, still very, very young, could potentially be a England goalkeeper in the future. And he could also potentially get an even bigger move away from from Nottingham Forest after this, in a few years' time. So for me, Manchester United should be looking to get a healthy fee for him. But the fact that we want to sell him and we want to raise funds to bring in our new goalkeeper and any other potential signings we want to make, United have to raise funds for. Means that we are in a difficult bargaining position, but you'd still expect us to get a decent fee. You look at the goalkeeper that left City to go Burnley, that Trafford fella, that £19 million for him. If United can't get a couple million more than that, I don't know what's going on. So Manchester United need to be negotiating well on this Dean Henderson deal, but it does look like he's going to be heading off and joining Nottingham Forest very, very soon. And when you see, the likes of Matej Kovar, Tom Heaton, go out on the trip to Oslo, and you see United are allowing Dean Henderson to leave, it does show that it looks like this Andre Onana deal is just a matter of time away from happening. We're getting some talk from Fabrizio Romano, who, to be fair, has given us like 3 updates in the last 2 days, which have all been the same. But nevertheless, the plan for all parties regarding Andre Onana was for talks to enter crucial stages on Wednesday, Thursday. These will be crucial days. United will send their final proposal to Inter, and clubs will need some time to discuss the final structure. We've also heard previously that the terms between the player and Manchester United are sorted. So it's not a case of agreeing contract terms with Andre Onana. It's not a case of making sure we can pay the wages that we want to pay him. We already know what he wants. We've got that 5-year contract, whether that's 4+1 or 5 years on a whole, to bring him to the club. Now it's just a case of getting the deal sorted with Inter Milan. We've had a few bids, apparently verbal bids, rejected for him, but we are getting closer to their asking price, and they are getting closer to a price that we consider reasonable. And you wouldn't be surprised to see a deal happen for around 40 to 45 million pounds for Andre Onana coming into Manchester United, which I think would be a decent deal. Obviously, you've got the fact that I think Inter Milan signed him on a free contract not long ago, which obviously makes you think we could have got him for free then. But nevertheless, it's not breaking the bank. It's a proper position that we need to fill. I was delighted with the Mason Mount signing. I thought it was a very, very good signing. But, the goalkeeper position and the striker position are those 2 positions that we really, really need to fill. And we need to make sure we're getting the signings done in those positions. Andre Onana's ticking one of those boxes. Obviously, he misses that game against Leeds. Maybe he'll miss the game in Edinburgh. But as long as he's out there for the main pre-season and he gets to play in most of those games, you'd be pretty happy with that as well, because you need him to bed in and get used to his teammates and get used to playing with them. And they need to get used to playing with him as well. I think we're going to have to get used to watching him. It's going to be nervy. We're going to be on the edge of our seats. Sometimes he's going to make mistakes. But I think the grand scheme of things, it's a net positive, because ultimately David De Gea was making mistakes that we're seeing us concede goals, and he wasn't playing out from the back. Andre Onana comes in, he'll be doing that. He's someone that's worked with Ten Hag. He's someone that gets us closer to what Ten Hag, wants us to be and sees us as a team. So if a signing's doing that, the team's only going to improve. Last season we played, all right. David De Gea got a lot of clean sheets in the Premier League, won the Golden Glove, but in terms of the way we wanted to play, it didn't help us much. We were often having to change things a little bit. You kind of saw that after the first couple of games. David De Gea started going long when he wasn't sure and stuff like that, and it must have been a message from the manager like, all right, look, we kind of have to, cut our cloth accordingly here and play to a tactics that's going to suit you. Obviously, you want him to play out, but he couldn't do it on a lot of the time. So bringing in a goalkeeper that's more natural to doing that, it suddenly opens different things up for you. You're now playing out quicker. You're now potentially playing counter-attacks a lot quicker. You're not allowing defences to settle in as much. You're not giving the ball away, hopefully, as much for throw-ins or set pieces, or just long balls up and then losing the headers. Once you go with a long ball, it's a 50-50. If you're playing out from the back, I think he's going to make mistakes, but the odds are more in your favour. And having him and someone like Lisandro Martinez coming back in as well will be massive. And then if you give the manager a striker, we didn't have a striker for the whole season. All you need is just someone reliable. We don't even need imagine if you just added a reliable striker into our team last season that was better than Wout Weghorst and more fit than Anthony Martial. Obviously Harry Kane would be a fantastic signing. It's kind of the one you want. Maybe it could still happen later on in the window. But for me, if you sign Rasmus Haaland and you bed him in, sometimes you use Rashford through the middle and you can use Garnacho on the left or Sancho on the left. I feel like you could still be onto, a bigger improvement in the team, because those two positions are so key. There's also talk about Sofian Amrabat, and after we get Andre Onana, we're going to be going for him. Again, delighted to hear that. A lot of people saying we've got players in his position. We need to get rid of McTominay. We need to get rid of Fred, or at least one of those. You get rid of them, you replace them with Sofian Amrabat in a squad. You've now got someone that can play alongside Casemiro, or replace Casemiro if you need to rest him or is suspended or injured or whatever. So I think that would be a very shrewd signing as well. And then if you can get, that striker later on or sometime soon even, and you can get Harry Maguire gone and potentially replace him with another centre-back, I think it would be a good window all in all. But still a lot of work to do. But it'd be nice to get that goalkeeper in with the bulk of pre-season ahead of us. And it looks like we may do that. Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you're keeping it locked to the channel. We'll be back, as I said, later on. The guys will be live for Manchester United against Leeds as the pre-season kicks off. Can't wait for that. See you in a bit.